Fourth grade into math lesson 15.3. Add and subtract mixed numbers to solve problems. I can use visual models and equations to add and subtract mixed numbers with like denominators. Spark your learning. A diner serves fresh bread with certain meals. At the end of the night, there are 1 3/4 loaves of whole wheat bread left and 1 2/4 loaves of white bread left. How many loaves of bread does the diner have at the end of the night? Okay, so I'm going to pull out my information. 1 3/4, 1 2/4. How many loaves of bread does the diner have left at the end of the night? So what am I going to do, guys? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Well, they were nice enough and told us we're either going to add or subtract. So am I adding or subtracting? Adding, right? Because we have this much of the wheat, we have this much of the white, and they want to know how much total was left. So 1 3/4 plus 1 2/4. They want us to draw a visual model to represent that. So what am I going to draw for 1 3/4? I'm going to draw one whole circle. I need 2 circles, right, guys? And how many pieces am I breaking them into? 4, right? And that first one, how many pieces do I color in? 1 whole, right? And then how many of the second one do I color in? 3, right? Okay, so this is represented here, right? Okay, what about this mixed number? And you draw 2 circles, right? Break them into 4s. How many pieces do I color in of the first one? All of them, because it's a whole, right? How many do I color in of the next one? 2. So if I look at this, how many whole circles do I have colored in? 2. How many pieces do I have colored in? 3/4 plus 2/4 is 5/4, which equals, could I take this one piece right here and then put it in right here? Could I do that?
Yeah.
Yep. So then I would have how many holes then? 3. I have 1, 2, 3. And how many fourths left over? 1/4. So 3 1/4 loaves. Build understanding number 1. A diner sells pie by the slice. At the end of the night, they have the following slices left. How much pie is left? So what do we have here, guys? We have 1 whole blueberry, and how much of the other? How much of the other, guys?
2.
Okay, so we said that there was 1 4/6 of the blueberry left. We said there was 2 1/6 of the apple left. So then we said that we had 3 wholes and 5/6, and then they want us to write an equation to model the problem. We already did that. So how much of the pie was left? So we said we had 3 wholes, so that would be my whole number. 5/6 would be my fraction. Step it out, number 2. At the start of the day, the diner has this bag of potatoes. During breakfast, they serve 8 4/8 pounds of potatoes. How many pounds of potatoes remain? So here's one of our numbers, the 9 7/8. They serve 8 4/8. How many pounds of potatoes remain? Okay, so what words am I going to put in a box to be my key words? Remain, and there's also one more.
How many?
Served, because it means you're getting rid of them, right? You're serving them, you're giving them away. Okay, so we could draw our circles, but is it easier to draw a bar model? Yes. Okay, so we're going to draw 9 squares. And then we're going to break each one of those into how many pieces? What's our denominator?
8.
8. Okay, so then we started with how many? Oh, should I have drawn 9 or should I have drawn what? 10 of those, right? Not just 9, but 10. Okay. Mrs. Thompson's having a little bit of trouble getting hers equivalent, but we get the general idea, right? Okay, and like I said, since we drew so many, I won't make you put 8 in each one of them, okay? But how many of them do we need to fully color in or shade in? What was our whole number? 9, right? So I need to fully shade in 9 of those. Okay, so I fully shaded in 9. How many of the last one do I shade in? 7, right? 9 and 7, 8. Okay. How many holes do I cross off? How many whole groups do I cross off? How many whole shaded ones do I cross off? 8, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I am not going to use 8 of those. And then how many of the single fraction or fraction strips do I mark off? 4. So then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to mark off 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what am I left with? How many whole boxes am I left with? 1. So 1 whole. And then how many 1/8 strips am I left with? 3. So 3/8. So there are 1 and 3/8 pounds of potatoes left after breakfast. The diner has 2 3/8 pounds of cheddar cheese and 1 7/8 pounds of mozzarella cheese. How many pounds of cheese does the diner have? Let's pull out what we have. 2 3/8, 1 7/8. How many pounds of cheese does the diner have? So what am I going to draw for 2 3/8?
You're going to draw 8 and 2.
I'm going to draw 3 boxes and break them into what? 8. Okay, how much am I coloring in of the first one? All of it, right? How much am I coloring of the next one? All of it. And then how much of the next one? 3. Okay. Then for 1 7/8, I draw 2 boxes. And then I break them into 8. Okay, how much do I color in of the first one? All of it. And then how about of the second one? 7. Okay, are we adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Adding this time, right? Because they have the cheddar and they have the mozzarella and they want to know how much total they have. So we're going to add these together. So plus equals, how many wholes do I have? Total. 2 here and 1 here, so 3, right? Okay. What about 3/8 plus 7/8? What does that get me? 10/8. Okay. So how many times does 8 go into 10? 1 time. So now I have 4 holes and how many 8s left over? 2. So 4 and 2 8. And what's my label? Pounds. Okay. And so they wanted us to write an expression to model it. So we had the 2 3/8 plus the 1 7/8, which gives us P for the amount in pounds. And then we added the 3/8 plus the 7/8 and got 10/8. And then we wrote 2 plus 1 got us 3. And then we said the 3 and 10 eighths equaled 4 and 2 8 pounds. Check and receiving number 1. Basketball practice lasts 2 and 6/12 hours on Monday and 1 and 5/12 hours on Wednesday. How many hours does practice last over both days? How much longer is practice on Monday than on Wednesday? So they want us to solve 2 problems, right, guys? So let's pull out our numbers: 2 and 6/12, 1 and 5/12. And then our first question is how long does it last over both days? And how much longer is practice on Monday than on Wednesday? What is a key word in each of the questions? Well, the first one would be both, so that tells us we're going to what? Add, and then much longer tells us we're going to subtract. So the first one we're going to add, so 2 and 6/12 plus 1 and 5/12. So what is 6/12 plus 5/12? 11/12, and then 2 plus 1 is 3. Do we need to simplify that? No, it works just the way it is. So 3 and 11/12 hours is the first question. Then the next one we're going to what? What did we say? We're going to subtract, right? So 2 and 6/12 minus 1 and 5/12. What is 6/12 minus 5/12? 1/12. 2 minus 1 is 1. So 1 and 1/12 hours. On your own, number 2. Isabel has 2 and 5/6 hours free to read and play outside. If she spends 1 and 3/6 hours reading, how long does she have to play outside? Represent the situation with a visual model and an equation. So we have 2 and 5/6 hours, 1 and 3/6 hours. How long does she have to play outside? Are we going to, what's the key word here? How about spends? That means she's getting rid of that time? Yes. So what's going to be my equation? Am I adding or subtracting? Subtracting. So my equation is going to be 2 and 5/6 minus 1 and 3/6. And they want a visual model. So how many rectangles do I need to draw? 3. And break each one into how many pieces? 6. Okay. And then how much do I shade in?
Shade in 2 whole and then 5 is the first one.
Right. 2 whole. And then 5 of the last. Okay, then what do we get rid of? How much are we getting rid of?
Get rid of 1 and then 3/6.
1 whole, and then 3/6 from the part of 1. So what am I left with? 1 whole, and how many small? 1/6. So 2/6 hours.